Interview, Part 6. When we hear an F word, it's typically associated with a bad thing, including your name. The good thing is that it's not all F words. So I think I would make more emphasis on those that are associated with positive thoughts so we can use them to our benefit. Make them our friends, not our foes.
I think you're onto something good, Robin. Using words that are associated with good things to offset some of the negative misunderstandings of what I really am here to do for you. Look, earlier in the interview, we discussed that moving towards success requires a flexible mindset and acknowledging that uncertainty is actually more practical than certainty. This is the basis for the attitude of the scientist who uses experiments as a way forward. The mere idea that you're running an experiment can give you the freedom to move forward. It's all just trial and error for learning.
That's right. I've heard so many scientists and non-scientists that have found success through trying things out and adjusting the trials along the way. Some of them took many, many trials, but in the end, they got something that was useful to them and to others. I'm thinking about how it took Edison as an inventor 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb, or the story of WD-40, the spray lubricant. It took a team 40 attempts to get the WD, or water displacing formula, worked out. In both cases, there was a lot of trial and error, many obstacles along the way until they found success. Success looks more like a curvy line.
True. The important lesson in trial and error is what to do with the errors along the way, because there will be many. What I have seen others do is to think of experiments as trials with the only expectation that there will be outcomes, and that those outcomes are feedback that tells you whether you're on the right track or not. However, let me be clear. The feedback I'm talking about here is one coming directly out from your trials. Only actual observed results and outcomes can provide you true feedback, which means you have to take action. Wanting, hopes, opinions, or dreams without actually taking action will not provide you real outcomes that you can then compare against what you intended to achieve.
To me, real outcomes sounds so much like real friends. I just looked up a definition of a friend as a person one knows, likes, or trusts, and another is one who helps and supports. I guess we can use these definitions to color the results we get from every trial. These are the true, unbiased friends disguised as outcomes to provide you with candid feedback, not just friendly opinions. For success to come about, you have to take action. And for the outcomes, you're not looking for nice or polite, but instead an objective way to learn. You're running your trials to get to the next stage, closer and closer to your goal. And you can only do this through the support of real, observed information created from the results of your trials. Results are your true friends.
Yes, Robin, I think real, true friendship will tell you things you may not like. Outcomes, as friends, can see past your shadow, and if you're truly open to see, listen, and understand, you will continue with your experiment, always adjusting along the way based on the friendly feedback. But I think there's one more F word worth talking about, and that is faith.
Wow, that's a good one. I never thought about faith as a part of this. Tell us more about how it can help.
Consider that faith is not about religious beliefs. Instead, think how faith has to do with curiosity and with an openness to the mystery of unknown things to come. Realizing that things you don't necessarily already know can in fact exist out there as new possibilities that you may not be able to think about if you maintain a limited way of thinking. This is the type of faith that provides you the power of resiliency, getting back on your feet when you fall. Faith in the knowing that after any outcome, you will have learned something that shows you the direction where to steer away from and where to move next. Faith is an ingredient that, when combined with friendship and feedback, creates a very powerful formula, one that can empower you to keep on trying, to continue to take action. You cannot know for sure that things will turn out a certain way, but with faith, you know for sure that there will be an outcome, and that from every outcome, you will learn something. Success exists through action and learning. It is, however, unpredictable and may come from many directions. You cannot know what will happen, but you can keep up the expectation that your action and its outcome will be helpful. Each step will show you which way not to take again and help point you in the right direction.
Thank you for that. Just the thought that we are running an experiment is so helpful. But with the positive associations of friendship and faith, I think that really helps in removing the other F word, fear, and the bad habit of postponing our actions. We can jump right in, take action, and move toward success.
Please let me share another story for your listeners, Robin. A person is sitting on a fence. They have one leg hanging to one side, the other leg to the other. They are observing both sides, thinking about what direction to take. Fence sitters often are great at calling out what they see as defects or problems, yet these are based on a limited perspective. Or perhaps, let's say it's an incomplete perspective. Fence sitters tell themselves a story about what's going on the left side of the fence and the right side of the fence. And because their world is clouded by right and left, their thoughts are influenced to think there is right and wrong, either or, all or nothing. Left and right create thinking in polar opposites, ignoring a space that exists, the in-between of possibilities, the many shades of gray that exist between black and white. The fence sitter is certainly influenced by the fence, which seems to be splitting the world into two opposite sides. Yet the fence itself is neutral. The interpretation of separate sides of an absolute two-sided reality might also be influenced by their thoughts, and their thoughts are constructed by their words. What is the fence sitter leaving out of the picture? What are they ignoring? What are they diminishing? What are they highlighting? What words are keeping the fence sitter stuck, frozen, and unable to move in either direction? Perhaps it's words like always or never that help form the illusion of either or. But if you check in on how often things work in absolutes, you might realize that those words do not really represent reality.
I thought about something we can add to the fence. It has a gate, so the fence sitter can take responsibility and act as the gatekeeper of what gets through and what doesn't. Meanings that are not useful can be kept out by thinking this way. If we can control the gate this way, we can make it easy to take the first step, which might not take me to my destination right away, but it sure can free me from where I am stuck today on the fence.
Good. Robin, did you make breakfast or dinner yesterday? Did you drive yourself to work? Did you feed your pet? Were you successful in getting things done yesterday and earlier before we met?
Yes, I did all that. What is the question about?
What words were you using while doing those activities? Did the food come out perfect? Did you drive perfectly? Did you feed your pet perfectly? Perhaps you have a level of tolerance for smaller flubs and bloopers, but judge yourself on other things using other people's words.
Do you mean it's hard to be a total, complete failure when you notice that in between, there are times when you get things done and move on without ruminating about the meal, the drive, or your pet?
Yes, exactly. Let's check back in with the fence sitter, but this time, let's widen the field of view on each side. Like everything else in life, change is constant, so the fence is also on the move. Looking to your left to the edge of as far as your eyes can see, toward the past, how far have you come? How many miles from the edge have you moved? How many meals and other successes have you achieved? Notice how there are shades of gray in between the black and white thoughts. You've made some mistakes, but none have been fatal. You're still here. And along the way, you were unknowingly experimenting and gathered lessons and knowledge. Reflect on the learning. It is yours to keep. Now, check the right side of the fence and look out to the edge of what your eyes can see, out into the future. You've come all this way and now own all this knowledge and experience to support you on your next step. What words have been keeping you from getting off the fence? If those words are not serving you, who is to say that you cannot create your own? Creators create things that did not exist before. Once you label something in a way that can serve you, it becomes alive and enters your thoughts. You have brought something new into creation.
Anyone is able to label and create. Thank you. This is a great first step to take and be a doer to move forward, not just judge from a fence and get passed by. I think the listeners are getting a lot from your fence sitter story. How much closer to white is the gray from where you're standing now? How will you know you moved into the next space? What will you notice is happening? For my listeners, challenge yourself. Accept you've never done this before. You're on your way, not there yet. You're learning because you don't know this or that, yet. You're practicing and experimenting because you're not good at this or that yet. Perfect closes the space and keeps you frozen on the fence, but yet can help open up the space between black and white, right or wrong, either or, and all or nothing. Buckle up, the best is yet to come. Most people master the art of postponing the start. Mokokoma Mokhonoana.